random drugstore on my continue my journey searching for these different items. So first of all, I went in there and I looked at makeup. Okay, and I chose to go for foundation because that is, after all, what we put on our skin to help ladies look more attractive. Okay, so I looked at some major contributors. First thing, Maybelline. I looked at Maybelline. Again, only white models on the packaging, no people of colour. Their foundation, their sort of prime line is called Dream Liquid. There are 11 shades of white in this foundation colour and 1 shade for women of colour. Moving on to CoverGirl, another competitor. Again, only white models on their packaging. They have several lines. One of them is called Colour Last. 13 shades of white, 1 shade for women of colour. They have a line called Clean. 12 shades of white, 1 shade for women of colour. Appropriately called Toasted Almond. Moving on to Revlon, there's a big one. Now Revlon have Halle Berry as one of their spokespeople, so hallelujah, we have 1 person of colour. They have a line called Colour Stay. 17 shades of white, 6 shades for women of colour. L'Oreal, only white models. 17 shades of white, 1 shade for women of colour. They have a line called Visible Lift, I guess that's for the aging women. 15 shades of white, 0 shades for women of colour. Perhaps women of colour don't need foundation when they get older because they remain so beautiful. Dior, Miss Dior, okay, again, only white models in their packaging. They have a line name called Capture, 9 shades of white, 1 shade for women of colour. They have a line called Skin Nude, 10 shades of white, 2 shades for women of colour. And finally, Clarins, which are a big name, only white models in the packaging. Their classic line, 13 shades of foundation for white women, 3 shades for women of colour. So then I moved on to magazines, and I looked at what magazines were available for women in their mid-30s. There were 34 choices for women, 4 of which had black women on the cover. Ebony, Essence, Pure, and of course Oprah's magazine, however, just a point of interest, there were 9 magazines with men of colour on them, so that's quite interesting. Birthday cards, we had a look at that. There were 36 available options for me to give a woman in her 30s a birthday card. 9 out of the 36 had white people on, but there were no birthday cards with people of colour on. 4 were explicitly for people in their 30s with the wording, but none of them had people of colour at all. Finally, we moved on to Band-Aids. So with Band-Aids, you've got 2 main brands. You've got Elastafast and Band-Aid. There were 39 different types, sizes, colour and shades to appeal to numerous different types of boo-boos for children and adults alike. There was decorative packaging from Dora the Explorer to Dragon Tales, Superman, or the very nice white skinny smiling mummy on one packet holding up a bandage to obviously place on her small white child. However, there were no people of colour involved in the packaging on these Band-Aids. There was waterproof options given, and they did appear to be a slightly darker tone. As I said, numerous sizes and shapes, and even they said Band-Aids of colour, except it was the wrong colour, because it was blue, yellow, red and purple, but not for people of colour. They even have what's called now second skin Band-Aids, which are spray-on, and even invisible Band-Aids, which are clear, so you don't even have to have a colour on your skin. So that's the option that I would go for. Here is your investigative journalism ending her investigation into buying things for women in their 30s if they are people of colour. Thank you.